Let me just make sure it goes live here, guys, and then we will get started. Good. Okay. So everybody, we're live on YouTube now, so we need you to use your best behavior. All right, so welcome everybody to this evening's session. Hope you've had a great holiday weekend so far. I'm Andy Hudson, as many of you know, and I hope you had some time to spend with your family and relax a little bit this weekend. Of course, that's what Thanksgiving is all about. Some of you probably skated a bit too, and we appreciate that. But so we've called this meeting in order to update everyone on some of our development and education efforts over the past several years, but more recently this season, and to provide a little more information about our association and also just to do some ongoing education. So we'll get right into it. We're going to hopefully have this last about 30 minutes. It might run a little bit longer than that. Okay, so the agenda for tonight. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the McKenna Scholarship Foundation, which I'm very pleased with. And Mike McKenna is here to join us. So we'll get to that first. Then we're going to do some general development education program updates, some trends that we've been seeing out there, and some updates from the board members, certain opportunities, and then some Q&A and open forum. If you have any questions throughout, feel free to put it in the chat and we can answer them via chat or we can bring it up at the end. Okay. So that's what this slide is as far as putting the questions in the chat. With that, I would like to talk a little bit about the foundation, the McKenna Memorial Scholarship Foundation, Mike, before I turn it over to you, if that's okay. And as many of you know, the foundation was named after Bill McKenna. It was formed, I think, around 1997, 98. And Bill was an original member of MIHOA and is considered a founding father of amateur hockey here in St. Louis. And the foundation encourages participation in hockey officiating. And it also supports students who are members of MIHOA and also the dependents, so the children of MIHOA members. And that's via post-secondary scholarships. So it's a great organization. If any of you are teenagers on here, and I know there's a few, please look for information on when to apply. That's usually in the spring. But just to give you an overview of this, the McKenna Foundation has provided scholarships to more than 80 young people that are connected with MIHOA in some way, shape, or form. Most of them skate for our association. And some of them may even be on this very Zoom meeting tonight. And the McKenna board is very proud to continue this support. We feel it's important, and we feel it's a great way to support our young officials. With the cancellation of our two major fundraising events for the year, which our golf tournament and the Tim Peel referee camp, the board is looking for new ways to, new efforts to try to encourage our members and then also members of the St. Louis hockey community to support our foundation. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mike McKenna, who's our first special guest for the evening. And Mike is Bill McKenna's grandson. He's also a retired professional goalie. So I'm going to stop share here. Mike, you can turn your camera on. There you go, my friend. Okay. And floor is yours, sir.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for having me in today. And Andy, especially all the hard work you've put into this. When we met last week with the Scholarship Foundation's executive group, we were trying to come up with those new ways, like Andy said. And, you know, it started off thinking, how can we get something to go that we're not going to have a golf tournament or the camp? How can we get everybody to chip in? And we thought about the Skate a Game for Bill that's been done in the past, where, as many of you know, or maybe if you participated in the past, you would donate your game fees to the foundation. And we thought, well, maybe we can make that kind of go in a new form. And thinking about it, we thought, okay, since we're not playing as much hockey right now, not as many people are working games, ice time is limited in some ways, can we do something outside the rinks? And it started off thinking, okay, you know, maybe we do Skate a Lab for Bill, everybody just posts a quick video and we get the social media going. Because right now all we have is a Twitter account that's McKenna Golf. Well, that's going to change. It's going to change the McKenna Scholarship Foundation, and it's going to try to aggregate everything we do. And kind of the crux of it, and I'm going to share a picture here that my rudimentary Photoshop skills did. And you can see this, I'd imagine. Somebody just give me a thumbs up if you can see. Andy, you want to give me a thumbs up?
Looks good.
Okay. So Andy has created one too that also has the MIHOA logo in it along with the Scholarship Foundation. It's really, really nice. So this is kind of outlining what we want to do. We want to create this hashtag Skate a Lap for Bill where people video themselves kind of in a similar way to the Ice Bucket Challenge that went around a couple of years ago. So the way we're envisioning this to happen is that everybody posts a video, you hashtag Skate a Lap for Bill, and then you nominate a friend or two to do the same thing. And we encourage people to donate. So we make sure that we include where you can be donating to, McKennaScholarship.com/donate. Super simple. We haven't designated a monetary amount for this. That's something that is kind of up in the air, whether we want to have a suggested amount or whether we leave that open-ended, to be determined. So anyway, this is a quick graphic that we came up with that we thought we would use. We'll be initiating new social media for the group to be able to do so. And what I'd like to share with you is just a quick sample video I just did this afternoon of something kind of what I think we're looking for. So I'm going to share this and just give you the quick, make sure my sound's on, but give you the quick idea. Let me know if you can hear this. I'm hoping you can. If not, it's probably all for naught, but.
So Mike, just hit pause real quick.
Okay.
You got to go back up to share and you got to select share computer sound.
Okay.
So if
there we go. I got you. We're good.
There you go. Maybe.
Thank you for that tutorial, Andy. It's much appreciated. You are a leader.
No
so
problem.
Here we go again. Here is the computer sound that goes along with it. So please turn up your computer so you can hear this. And again, this was done very quickly, but that's kind of the point. We want people to be able to do this in like 20 seconds and post the thing.
I'm Mike McKenna, Bill's grandson today. The hashtag Skate a Lap for Bill challenge. It's in full effect. We wish you to nominate your friends, donate. I'm going to take my lap and be right back.
Great stride. Scared to death I'm going to fall.
Love that.
All right. So Mike, the audio is still a little low there, but maybe what you could do for me, Mike, is after, I know you have to leave. Why don't you shoot me that video in some way, shape or form?
I'll tell you what, I think I got a fix for you. Let's try this one more time. I know everybody wants to see my stride again, and especially the stopping motion.
You skate like a referee.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I skate like a goalie actually, which is even worse.
That's very true.
I'm Mike McKenna, Bill's grandson.
Is that louder?
The hashtag Skate a Lap
Yeah.
for Bill challenge. It's in full effect. We wish you to nominate your friends, donate. I'm going to take my lap and be right back. So today I'm challenging Andy Hudson and Jamie Koharski to skate a lap for Bill. Head to McKennaScholarship.com/donate.
So you challenged me.
Well, yeah, you've got to set the tone here, Andy.
Okay.
So in any case, I will actually set the tone and make the first donation. But kind of the point here, though, is that it's pretty open-ended, and it's really an attempt to get everybody involved, make it go viral. If it's $10, if it's $20, if it's $100, it all adds up. And it just is a fun way. You can do it on the ice. You can do it in your neighborhood. People can be creative with it. They can dress up like the Macho Man if they want. It doesn't matter. But whatever it is, if people use that hashtag, we'll make sure that from the socials we're retweeting it so everybody can see and try to make this, kind of a fun thing for everybody in this weird time that we're in right now.
Right. Awesome, Mike. Well, thank you very much. I will say that, and I'm not going to be the pessimist here, but let's in our games that we're working, we're there to work the game. Certainly something like this could be incorporated if we have some free ice time afterwards the game, but we probably not want to do this during the game, right, Mike?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's something that you can do before the game, before you go on the ice. Skating a lap really just means that you're going to go for a skate. That's all it does. So if, before your game, you take a selfie video, hey, I'm going to skate a lap for Bill. I'll see you guys in an hour. Something as simple as that. Whatever it may be, it's very free form. There's not a lot of rules with this. It's really just to get a way to get everybody to be engaged.
Love it. All right.
And by the way, this is a ton of credit to Jay Sharers on this. Really the idea of kind of tying this in with, what had been done previously with the ice bucket, that was all Jay. So big credit to him, new member of our exec board as of last year. So thanks, Jay. That was really a lot of foresight along with it.
Okay. Well, you should have challenged him then. No, I'm joking. You're fine.
He'll get it, I'm sure.
All right. Well, I accept your challenge, Mike. So I'll get, I might have to scrounge up a pair of rollerblades or something, but I'll find them. Or double runners, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
Good.
I accept your challenge. And you also challenged Jamie Koharski,
Yes.
which is a prior member of MIHOA. So hopefully we'll see him doing something too. So
Yep.
awesome. All right, Mike. Anything else you'd like to share about the foundation or your family or what's going on in your life? Or
Well, we're so happy that it's kept Grandpa's memory going. Not that it's hard to do. We still hear a lot of stories about him, but we are starting to get a ways past his passing. And, to us, it's not really the memory of Bill. It's more so just his desire to make sure people are striving for education and using that along with what they do on the ice to grow as people. So that's really important to us. Education important to me, being college graduate as well, even though I'm talking on TV with something that's nothing to do with my degree at all. It was important to him, and to keep it going is just really cool. So we appreciate all the support.
all right, Mike. Well, thanks a ton, and enjoy the rest of your holidays with your great family. Say hi to Doc for us, and thanks again.
Will do. You bet. Thanks, Andy.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. See ya. All right. Well, great. What do you guys think of that so far? Put it in the chat, maybe, if you like this idea and if you're going to participate. I think it should be fun. And I got to get my rollerblades out, I guess. Okay, let's keep going. So the Tim Peel referee camp, we are starting to look at dates for the Tim Peel referee camp. Tim and I are looking for a long weekend in either the first or the second weekend of June, and it would be at Maryville. And the cool part about this camp, we were talking about this last week, is that there's a bunch of camps out there that many people maybe in our association have attended. But the cool thing about this camp is everybody, Tim, myself, the other instructors, we all do this on a strictly volunteer basis, 100% volunteer, and 100% of the proceeds go to the foundation, the McKenna Foundation. So that's what makes this program unique. So we are targeting the first or second weekend of June. Keep your eyes peeled for information on that. I know Alex Spent, who's on, went to it last year, and I think he enjoyed himself. And Edward Zhang is on. He also attended. So keep your eyes open for that. Okay, we are going to shift over to some development and education updates. So I am going to bring on Bob Pugh next. So let me bring Bob on. We'll unshare here. And Bob, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, turn your video on so we can see it too, my friend.
Yep.
Awesome.
I got to sit up straight and everything now.
Yeah. So Bob, just before you head off, I want to just give an overview. So there's 3 development and education coordinators: myself, Bob Pugh, and Andy Bethman, and we all kind of spearhead different elements of the program, which is great because we can kind of delegate stuff and all partner on this. So Bob is going to provide some updates on our mentor program. So Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think most of you are familiar with our mentor program, where we get some of our more experienced refs and put them out on the ice with new officials or younger officials, and just help them with positioning, things like that, sticky situations. I think it's been very well received by the clubs. Just going through some numbers this year. So far, we've had mentors on about 15 games. Now that's down quite a bit from last year. It looks like by this point last year, we had mentored about 77 games. So some of that is by design. Obviously with COVID, we've had many fewer games this year. So we're operating on a little bit of a reduced budget. So our focus has been trying to get out there with first-time officials and on games where we have all team crews. So it's not surprising that our numbers are down in terms of the number of games that we've mentored, but we're going to keep looking for those opportunities and trying to help people out where we can. I'd like to take a minute to, thank those of you who've been out and mentored the games. We've got about 10 or 11 guys here, if I can just name them off: Rich Meek, Robert Babcock, Ron Zaran, Tepi Sakuma, Joey Holmes, Todd Turner, Bob Cohen, Kevin Buchanan, Andy Hudson, Cam Fleming, and Josh Horowitz. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. But thank you guys for all that you do. You make a huge difference to our younger officials. And just one other point on that, you may not be on our list of mentors, but you can still help. If you're out there doing the search for games and you see a game with the younger official on it, click on the game, help them out. You can teach a lot just by going out there and skating the game with the person and kind of set the tone, let them see, how an old pro handles it, right? So we're going to keep looking for those opportunities, and I appreciate everybody's help in this. Hopefully we'll have some more opportunities coming up and try to get some more people involved.
Right. Awesome. Thanks, Bob. And yeah, I'm very passionate about the mentor program, because what we've done in the past several years, we've really seen the benefits of that by helping the young officials. So I can't emphasize enough what Bob is saying. If you're out there working with a young official, lead by example, but also take the time to kind of help teach the official. I mean, they might not know certain things. So take the time to talk to them and show them how it's done and give them little pointers. So
yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, Bob, thank you very much. Anything else?
All right. No, that's it.
Okay, great. Another important part of our program, I'm going to just leave the slide off right now, is game supervisions. And with COVID, our ability to conduct supervisions and evaluations has been a little bit limited this year, as with the mentorships, but we are getting some of our supervisory staff out to certain games. And our goal with the supervisions is really to, provide feedback, constructive criticism, some coaching points, and to identify areas of improvement for officials. And we also use our supervisors and observations to identify officials at all levels who we feel are capable of being challenged with a new opportunity. So the VPs are very receptive to our supervisions, and we talk to them all the time. And a lot of times, based on our supervisions and evaluations, the VPs will listen to us, and they'll give some of our members, a more challenging assignment, whether it's high school or AAA or whatever the case may be. So if you're looking to get supervised for a formal supervision, please, you can go to the development education portion of MIHOA.com, and there is a form to fill out to request an evaluation. It's not always possible to get somebody out, and weekends are more difficult to get somebody out. So if you have a weeknight game and you'd like to have somebody come give you a formal evaluation, please put in a request for that. And I will say, when you receive an evaluation, it's equally as important for the person that's receiving the evaluation to be receptive to what they're hearing from the supervisor, because the supervisors are there to help you get better. And we have to give you candid feedback about what you can be maybe improving on. We're going to point out things you do well, but we may also point out things that you need to improve on. And that's, it's your job then to accept that and incorporate that into your games as you move forward. With that, I'm going to bring Andy Bethman on now, who's going to talk a little bit about his role with our development education team. So, Beth, are you there? I see him.
Sure.
There we go.
Let me just say that I've been pretty pleasantly surprised with. Can you hear me?
You're good.
All right. Let me just say that I've been pleasantly surprised with the opportunities so far that we have had. Am I good, Huddy?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. So we've had a couple opportunities so far with our older guys and our younger guys. Last weekend we had a AAA tournament in town. We were able to get out some younger officials with some veteran officials, and I could really tell with the instant feedback and the just the education that was going on the ice, and the kind of feedback that the guys were getting instantly, whether it be in between periods or after the game. So that was nice to see. As far as older guys are going, some of our 18 to 25-year-olds, like we've mentioned in meetings before, things happen fast, and we've been fortunate to have the type of connections to get guys opportunities. A month ago, the scheduler for the Lindenwood Division I women's team called Tepe, said, "Hey, I need guys in Sioux City, Iowa." Tepe sent a text out to me, Huddy, and said, "Hey, I need guys." We were able to give them some names. They went up there and did a AAA midget tournament at a USHL rink. So things happen quick around here, and that's why we're constantly in communication with those kind of guys. On Wednesday, I got a phone call from a scheduler nationally who said, "Hey, I need 2 linesmen this weekend in St. Louis. What do you have?" I said, Josh Horowitz can skate this weekend and Gerard Lammer can skate this weekend. So, and on the other side of that, I got a text message from a guy who said, "Hey, what is it going to take for me to get the call up to some of those games?" And we were able to give him feedback saying, "This is what you need to do. This is who you need to contact. You need to contact us," and give them that kind of feedback the guys want to know. So oftentimes guys are asking questions like, "Hey, why aren't I working that game? Why aren't I working this game?" Texting schedulers, calling the schedulers. Call me or Huddy or somebody on the development team that can give you the answers that maybe those schedulers don't have. Those guys are putting in so much time scheduling games that we're probably more accessible to give you the type of answers, or get the people that need to come out and see you skate. So nice to see guys, even in the COVID era, still getting opportunities and taking advantage of it. And it's even better to see us put time in to really identify those 15 to 18-year-olds right now who we're getting opportunities to get in and skate, and having that kind of dialogue that's going to really get them ready for the next level.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what we're calling our radar officials. That's what we're referring to. Radar here is a couple of years ago, we would have struggled to find half a dozen to 10 radar officials. And now we're at like between 30 and 40 officials that are kind of that sweet spot that Andy just mentioned, 16 to 18 or 15 to 18 that we think have potential to move up to the ADP program, and then eventually maybe juniors and college if everything maps out. So very pleased with that. Andy, I've got some video clips here that you wanted to show to kind of educate here. So what I think is going to be best is let's both turn our cameras off, and then we'll watch these video clips and you can do kind of a voiceover with it. So let's turn our cameras off, both you and I. All right, you ready for the first one?
Yeah.
Bettens will drop it off. Baskel handing it off now, far side. Bettens with it, left onto Cameron. A quick drive there. That'll settle in the corner just about. Back in below the goal line. And a delayed penalty coming up here on Patty Schmedlin. He checked the man from behind.
All right, so let's show that again, Huddy.
And just so people know, this is clips from the USHL, I think. So,
yep.
Andy, here we go.
So what we're looking at here, seeing the clip again, we're looking for this referee who gets jammed up in the corner, but he doesn't stop. He doesn't quit. He's still keeping his head up, focused on the play. All of a sudden, boom, we have a check from behind. This guy's able to see it because he didn't stop working. And this, I believe, was a 3-man game. If you can just play one more time, Huddy, and stop it when the play's in the corner.
Here we have a battle along the wall that involves the down low referee. He's able to escape traffic long enough to see a boarding minor take place. It's correctly called as the player in white turns at the last second. On another note, if this game is being done with 4 officials, the outside referee, who's not on tape here, needs to get off the wall and slide out to the middle of the ice when he realizes that his partner is in traffic. That way, if the down low ref misses the call, the outside referee can support and make the call if needed.
Go ahead, Andy.
Okay, pause that. So great audio there too over the video, but we talk a lot about, especially if you're in those level 3 or 4 seminars, how that high referee in the neutral zone needs to stay active with moving their feet and stuff like that, because what you're looking for in that situation when all the players are in the corner is how you can support that low referee. So a low referee gets bumped. Luckily, he was able to stay with play. But that neutral zone referee, if that check from behind goes undetected, if they're working hard in the neutral zone, can easily pick up that play. And those are the type of situations that supervisors are noticing, that other officials and other teams are noticing. Those are the calls that go unnoticed if official's not ready, or notice if an official is present and working hard.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of our games are not 4-man. So, but I want to point out how great the linesmen did there by just getting on their horse and hustling into to get there and have good presence too. Right, Andy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you want to watch the next one now?
Love this video.
Okay, here we go.
Around the cage. Long pass ahead to LaFerriere. And LaFerriere finishes a check, and that is going to be whistled, and they're going to try to go after LaFerriere, and you don't see that too often. The linesman basically tackles the Lincoln Star player before he has an opportunity to get to the LA Kings draft pick. And the Lincoln Star player still down.
You want to watch it again, Andy?
No, well, let me talk first. So I love this video. This is one of the best videos I've seen in a while, because here's what I see. One, we have a referee. We have a referee who sees the obvious call. Okay, great. Puts his arm up. We have the call. But from a linesman standpoint, the next thing I see is the linesman picking off the third man in. So that situation has been completely diffused because he's with him the whole time. And the next thing I see is the linesman, the next linesman picking off the person who had the infraction. So that person's now taking the person in the penalty box who made the infraction. The other linesman has completely diffused the guy who was going to take probably a minor to major penalty. And if you look further in the video, even though the linesman is kind of moving with play, he's still putting out fires all the way while his partner is putting the player in the box and looking back over his shoulder to see where he needs to go next. Okay, how do you play that again?
The referee can support and make a call if needed.
Around the cage. Long pass ahead to LaFerriere. And LaFerriere finishes a check, and that is going to be whistled, and they're going to try to go after LaFerriere, and you don't see that too often. The linesman basically tackles the Lincoln Star player before he has an opportunity to get to the LA Kings draft pick. And the
still putting out fires, still putting out fires. Linesman puts the guy in the box, then he's looking, where am I going next? Where am I going next? That's just a great example of teamwork from officials on the ice. I love that clip.
All right, you can turn your video back on if your camera back on, Andy, if you want. Yeah, love it, love it. Okay, so that's kind of the stuff that we want to see from our members. Is we want to see our members, being more active, being aware. And that brings us to our next section. Andy, I think is that all that you had? I mean, there's
love it.
Something a little bit more.
We'll be sending those clips out again too.
Yeah, so that's what brings us to our next section, which is our acronym, which we came up with I don't know, a year or two ago, that we call HEAT. And Teppy sometimes changes it around and calls it HATE, but we're not going to let him do that tonight. And it's about hustle, it's about energy, enthusiasm, and effort, attitude and awareness, and teamwork. We saw all of that in those clips. And unfortunately, I'm going to do a little glass half empty here for a second, then go glass half full. Some of our game observations out there that we're seeing, we're starting to recognizing a somewhat alarming trend, not by all of our members, but by a small portion of our members, that there's just not enough effort. And this seems to be happening more on our older teenagers and our young adult age group officials. And it's the E and HEAT. It's that effort that we're lacking in some cases. Some of our members are stepping on the ice, given a less than positive effort. And in some cases, we're seeing officials skating with their arms crossed or standing still for so long that they're getting in the way of play. They're not getting to the net on goal scoring opportunities. They're lackadaisical in just their approach to everything. And it simply put, it's unacceptable. The game deserves more than that. It deserves better than that. And the players, the coaches, even the spectators, as much as we love or hate them, they deserve our best effort for every single game we go out there, no matter what the level is. And so let's all rededicate ourselves to this HEAT acronym, hustle, energy, attitude, teamwork. Okay. And all the other what E and A stand for there. So I'm going to show 2 quick videos, and then I'm going to bring on our second guest. 2 of these videos, the 2 videos we're going to show are great examples of HEAT from USA Hockey that I think demonstrate HEAT. So here we go for the first one.
In this week's segment, we'll point out some techniques that successful officials implement in their game. Let's watch the officials in this clip. What are some of the things you notice?
There's a couple spots in these videos where there's no audio. So look at the linesman moving his feet here. He's always moving. And look at his partner on the other side.
Hey, Andy, we're not seeing the video.
Oh, you're not? I apologize. Thanks for bringing that up. Let's start that over. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. Here we go.
In this week's segment, we'll point out some techniques that successful officials implement in their game. Let's watch the officials in this clip. What are some of the things you notice?
So let's look at the linesmen here and how they're always moving. They're moving their feet. They're remaining connected to the play. They're not standing still.
I still can't see the video. I just see your presenter screen.
One of the key points here is that these officials...
Man, I'm failing big time on this. Okay, can somebody give me a verbal that they can see a rink now?
That looks better.
Good.
Yes. All good.
Did I say that the linesmen are moving their feet? All right, so here we are now, finally. A great movement by the linesmen.
One of the key points here is that these officials are in the ready position. They don't have their hands on their knees, and they're always standing upright and angled towards play.
So for you officials that line games,
these officials use their skating ability to their advantage. They're all confident skaters using their edges effectively and efficiently. The officials in this example are constantly improving their sight lines by moving with play and are keeping their minds and bodies engaged with their controlled movements.
So for you officials that are lined in, say, high school games or AAA games, the movement of their feet is crucial here.
Each of these 3 officials has a sharp appearance when these traits are put together. The perception of this third team is that they're prepared, professional, and precise.
Love it.
By using the techniques we've discussed in this segment, you'll be in better position to succeed and command respect from players, coaches, and spectators. This week's segment.
Okay, so just real fast on that last clip, I won't show it twice and we can send them out, but just the perception that you're watching that as a spectator in the building, you're looking at those linesmen and you're like, they are here to work. They're keeping their feet moving. They're always watching to play. And trust me, having to hustle and go to that far blue line is a heck of a lot easier for feet are already moving than coming from a standstill. So let's watch the next clip.
We'll focus on skating ability. Let's watch this referee for an example.
Or look more at the referee.
This official has proper spacing on the play, uses appropriate arm swing, and is always skating with his head up facing play. He maintains balance with bent knees and usage of the inside edges of his skates. This official's strong stride keeps him in necessary position to call infractions. It's important he have good discipline as a skater and appropriate stamina for the level of play he's officiating. Here's an example where skating ability keeps the official from affecting play. Let's highlight some things this official did in that last segment. This official has his head up, knees bent, a strong stride, is confident on his edges, and is always looking at play.
And his feet are always moving.
Here's another example where good edge work and watching play keeps this official on top of things.
Oof.
Let's take another look. In this clip, we should be able to identify the official's head being up, knees bent, having a strong stride, being confident on his edges, and always looking at play. It's all there. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to apply these strategies to maximize your abilities out on the ice.
Okay, so that is a great opportunity there to watch those videos and try to model yourself after that. Just again, the feet moving, the awareness, the hustle, getting deep in the zone, a lot of things right going on in those clips. Okay, so now it is my privilege to, I'm going to unshare here, to welcome Jay Shares, who's an NHL, retired NHL linesman, who works only 7 Stanley Cup finals, right, Jay? Only? But Jay is based here in St. Louis now, worked over 1,000 games in NHL. And I asked him to come on because, you know, I wanted him to kind of reinforce what we were talking about heat and maybe some of the clips we saw tonight. So Jay, take it away.
Thanks for having me, Andy. As usual, you're one step ahead of me. I was making some notes before tonight and as we were watching the videos. I think the best thing that I can say to you guys is you have video. When I was coming up and I was the age of a lot of you, there was no video. We weren't getting video. And we had to rely on the input of our supervisors. And sometimes things don't translate from words. So sometimes when you see video, it reinforces that message. Something I always say to people, you've made a conscious choice when you accept a game assignment. You've made a conscious choice to go out there and work that hockey game. I think there's several things that you can do that will enhance your success and your enjoyment of the job that you've chosen to do. One is your fitness. Throughout my career and throughout my life, fitness has been a huge part of my life. And in my career, I think contributed to a lot of my success because I was able to be in position. I was able to, as we saw the linesman in the clip, Cummins, anticipate by taking the player to the box, things like that. If you're not in shape and if you're not working on your skating away from games, you're not going to have that ability to do your job as well as you can. Second thing is rule knowledge. Rule knowledge is imperative. And I know for a lot of us, and myself included, it sometimes was a tedious part of the job, but it is such a vital part of the job. There's nothing worse than being out on the ice and feeling unprepared because you didn't read the rule book. And I'm not saying you have to read it every night. Break it up, take it in sections, take it in paragraphs, and but get into a habit of, just like your fitness, of doing it consistently, because you'll be amazed when you're in situations based on also on your experience, but based on your rule knowledge, you are going to have more success. One of the other things that was always big for me and guys I worked with, obviously at the highest level, was effort. And Andy has been reinforcing that right from the beginning of this call. And when I watch games, amateur games, or even professional games, and it happens, guys, at the professional level too, because there's some days you don't feel like doing the job. And in our case, you've traveled, you have your life at home, just like you guys, you have jobs, you have school, you have, your family commitments. There are other things that occupy your time. And I get that, but effort, when you're out there on the ice, to the coaches, to the players, and as Andy said, the spectators, it conveys a sense that you care. And one of the biggest things when we officiate hockey, whether it's at a professional or an amateur level, is people think we don't care and that we're just going through the motions. And in some cases, they're correct. So you, as an official, you have that within your power to control that. And you have a way to present yourself and show your presence and your effort. And that is all within your control. Nobody controls that but you. And when I go to watch amateur games and when I see games in the minor leagues. The things that stand out to me is there's some people out there that are going through the motions. Don't be that person, because you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to get the most out of the experience, whether you're trying to anticipate, whether you're trying to achieve a career in professional hockey, or whether you're just doing this because you enjoy it, you enjoy the exercise, you enjoy the camaraderie, having teammates. Put in that effort. I think along the lines of effort is also respect for the game. When those players step out on the ice, they want to win the game and they want to do the best they can. Nobody steps out there wanting to lose the game. When we step out on the ice, we step out to execute the game fair and safe. And that is our biggest responsibility when we step out on the ice. So have respect for the game, have respect for your teammates, have respect for yourself, and have respect for the other participants in the game. The other thing is about pride and honesty. I think those two things go hand in hand, again, with effort, with fitness, with rule knowledge, having pride in the job that you do. One of the biggest things for me when I look back at my career, I'd like to think that pretty much every time I stepped out on the ice, I wanted to be the best official on the ice. I wanted to be the best official in the league. And that's what drove me throughout my whole career, to just constantly push myself. We wouldn't be involved in this if we weren't competitive. It takes a special kind of person to be an official, to have the kind of mental toughness to be out there and to take criticism from adults. If you're a younger person right now and you're taking criticism from a coach, it takes a special kind of person. So take pride in that. I think the other thing, which was touched on earlier, is your supervisory program. And I thought that was awesome. Take advantage of that, because sometimes people go, well, I don't want to have somebody come and watch me because they're going to tell me things I'm doing wrong. That's a good thing, because those are things that you can improve upon. And the fact that somebody else is going to take the effort to come and watch you work and give you constructive criticism, and as Andy said, also positive reinforcement, that's an awesome opportunity. And to me, you'd be foolish to not take advantage of that, because it's only going to help you. It's going to make, and again, this is about enjoyment. It was for me for 27 years. It was the greatest job I could ever imagine. And it was fun. It was fun because it involved a physical aspect, which I love, and it involved competitiveness, and it involved teamwork and a fraternity of other officials. So take advantage of that supervisory program, because I think that's an awesome tool that you have at your disposal that you guys really need to use to your advantage. Oh, you're on mute, Andy.
I was on mute. I could not have said that better myself, Jay. So thank you so very much. Fantastic message. And guys and gals that are on this, the players and the coaches and the spectators, if you're working hard out there and working your ass off, they're going to give you a break if you mess up. But if you're not, they're going to see right through you, and they have every right to give you a grief almost if you're not giving 100%, right, Jay?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things, as we know, you're not going to be liked, because 100% of the time, or 50% of the time, 100% of the people are mad at you. So, or sorry, I said that backwards. 100% of the time, 50% of the people are mad at you. But what you do want to have is respect, and respect is so vital in this fraternity that we are all in, guys and girls.
Yeah. Fantastic. And one thing I will point out is that we are recognizing this out in the buildings now more than ever before, because we've got more eyes on our officials. We've got more supervisors. We've got more people watching, and we're asking people. I mean, I watched a game the other night, and I was there to watch a young linesman, but I reached out to the referee and said, how did he do in his second game? How did you feel? What was it like having him out on the ice? And we use all of that information to say this kid's ready to move up to the next level, for example. So know that there's people out there watching you. It might not be every single game. It's certainly not going to be every single game, but you never know who's going to be in the building. And Jay has been kind enough to, ask to get more involved with our association. And he's asking to go out and maybe watch some games, and hopefully you take advantage of that, Jay. And I know Tim Peel is here in town, and Brian Pansich with the NHL, and they've been in the buildings. And you never know when somebody like this is going to see you and maybe help open a door for a higher level opportunity. You never know. So thank you again, Jay.
I think on that note too, Andy, I mean, in the era that we live in, you're always being watched. Somebody can always be recording something and posting something. I didn't have to go through that in my amateur career, but somebody is always watching nowadays.
For sure. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jay. Feel free to stick around for the rest of the meeting. There's probably about 10 more minutes if you'd like, or you're welcome to go.
Yeah, no, I'll stick around.
Okay, great. We won't say anything bad about you. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Jay. All right. We're going to move along then. That was fantastic. Love it. Love it. Love it. So special thanks to Jay for that. We are going to do some board updates now. I believe that's our next section. So let's go ahead on the board updates. And this is the order, so we know who's going to do it. So it's going to be Joe first, then DA, then Jerry Burt, then Teppy if he's on. So Joe, you're up.
Yep. Good evening, everybody. Couple things on scheduling. I think for the foreseeable future, we're going to be using Search for Games. The VPs have the option to do either, but that was the last discussion we have. So with everything going on, I think we feel that's the best way to schedule these games going forward, especially since we're having a decent number of cancellations due to teams coming down with COVID, out of town teams not being able to come in, and our government changing the rules almost on a weekly basis. So I think for the foreseeable future, we'll be scheduling that way. COVID, let me quickly review what the COVID situation is as far as rinks playing in each of the counties. Down in Pacific, all games are on, really no restrictions from playing the game, if you will. St. Charles County, the same way. All the rinks are playing games with relatively no restrictions. And this is coming from the county governments. The rinks may have some restrictions, but I don't think they do. St. Louis County is a whole different story. They just instituted some restrictions on playing games where everybody, including us as the officials, have to be wearing masks. So check the website and you'll see more information on that. We anticipate, and I wouldn't be surprised if St. Louis County shuts down games altogether here in the next couple of weeks. So don't be surprised if you see that going forward. We do have a tournament coming up, I think, this weekend and the following weekend. Most of it's in St. Charles County, so make sure you put in for the games. DA, appreciate the help. I've got some questions on our policy for COVID. And our policy is basically whatever the government's policy is. We will follow what each county government, federal government, state government policies, et cetera, follows. One thing I want to emphasize, we are not the COVID police. We do not enforce mask wearing. We do not enforce social distancing on the bench or any of the COVID policies set forth by the county government. That is up to the team, the league, and the county, if you will. If somebody asks you to enforce that, please do not. You're just going to put yourself in a bad situation. So we are not the COVID police. We are expected to follow the policies that are set forth out there while we're officiating, including wearing the mask. So, Andy, I don't know if anybody got any questions on the COVID. Let me know, and we can address them. But it's really pretty straightforward.
Okay. Yeah. No questions coming in on chat. We will have a Q&A at the end if anybody has any more questions on that. Anything else, Joe?
No, I think that's it. We're going to plan on having a member meeting above and beyond what Andy does here pretty soon. We've been kind of waiting, but I think we'll do it via Zoom since God knows when we're going to be able to get together again. So other than that, make sure you're putting in games, especially on the tournament, and be safe out there.
All right. Thanks, Joe. DA, you're up. You're on the clock, my friend. 2 minutes.
All right. He always has to give me a limit because I go over. I'm sorry. So just a couple tidbits. All the games are going on the web for Search for Games. Some tournaments are hitting the web. We have a tournament this weekend. Just some tips for putting in for games. Remember, if you're going to put in for Search for Games, that most of the time we try to assign them at least in pairs. All right. So be looking for selecting games in pairs. When you select a single, most likely I'm going to give it to somebody that wants to either do the game before, the game after, pick up the Pee-wee, pick up the squirt game, pick up the Bantam game. It makes my life a lot easier when I can just pair it up. And also, same thing on the weekends now, since we're really using Search for Games. It's really beneficial that, if you want to only do the 8:30 a.m. game, but not the first one of the slate, the 7:15, I can't use you. You have to, everything's in increments. It's, 2 games, 2 games, 3 games, 3 games. So look at that rotation of those games when they come out on the web, and do your best just to monitor it daily, put in for games. And I can't stress enough the importance of checking the web daily. We're having a lot of cancellations. We're trying to tell you guys as soon as possible when they are canceled. Sometimes we can't get to you. Sometimes you're getting to the rink. We apologize for that. If you're on the way to the game and the game gets canceled, submit an incident report or inform me or Joe. If the game's canceled, sometimes you can't do a report. So just let us know. Outside of that, really just reinforce, Huddy's theme here of hustling. I see a lot of standing around in some of the games I've watched, and that's just not who we are as MIHOA. We're a hustling type of crew. So let's make sure that we hustle and that we give it 110% every day and every time we're out there. That's all I got, guys. Happy Thanksgiving and take care.
All right, thanks, DA. Appreciate it. Looks like he's getting ready to skate a game. JB, you're up.
Hey, first of all, I'd like to thank Jay for joining us tonight. I've been doing this for about 40 years now, and he's one of the most amazing officials that I've ever worked with. He's a true professional, and what he says is gospel. So let's try to maintain the things that he said tonight, and hopefully it'll make us a whole lot better as an association. As most of you know, that I am in charge of adult hockey as well as Central States hockey this year. And the adult hockey is coming back a little bit. There's some Hockey North America that's going on now, but that's just about it. The other things with Central States, please make sure that you put in for those games. I could use some new people, some new faces, as long as you can skate the level. I would ask you, if you're a younger person, that you probably want to gain a little more experience, because some of the Central States games are very competitive. So you want to take a look at that, take a look at the mirror, and make sure that you're available and you can do that level of hockey. The other thing to just back up DA, if you do put in for a game and you get an assignment from somebody else, from another assigner, that would conflict with the game time that you put in with, would you please take yourself off that game? It's just double work for us right now to assign you a game and you kick the game back because you've already been assigned another game. I know most of this is old hat, but it really helps out the assigners. That's all I have, Huddy.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jerry. Appreciate it. And I think Teppy is up if he is on this evening. Teppy, are you there?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Again, thanks again to Jay and Mike for being on the call. Everyone else, Sunday night after Thanksgiving's kind of a time to be lazy, so I'm glad everyone could make the call. Been watching a lot of officials in the last couple of months. High school hockey has started on this past Monday. Actually, JV started on Sunday, and most of the crews I've been watching have been really good, hustling. I did see some younger officials do some AAA games with some questionable habits. I think we've had a longer off season than we have in the past. Worked maybe too many adult games. Sorry, JB, coming into the season. So I'd like to see a little bit more hustle after you make the call at the blue line to get to the goal line in two-man situations. And really, when I'm watching officials, I'm watching what they do when the whistle blows. Once the whistle stops play, I'm really watching to see what the ref's doing. It can't be standing around. We always have a place to get to once that whistle blows. So let's make sure we're hustling. We'll know about the Mississippi Valley High School season this upcoming week. Illinois has much more stringent rules than we do. So I will send out an email once we have some type of communication from that league. We also have college coming up in hopefully January. And then after a month of that, we're looking at playoffs right away. So guys, keep hustling. It's a short season, and we're keeping our eyes open for younger, newer officials to step up and do some games. Just quick shout out to some of the guys I've seen so far: Craig Ford, Joe Holmes, Ryan Bruce, Garrett Limpert, Kai Harvey, Sean McGlynn, Brandon Burnstill. All done a nice job as young officials so far. So keep up the good work. That's all I have.
Okay, Teppy, and you had sent me a video clip because you wanted to maybe share an exciting update of one of our members and show a really positive clip here. You want me to go ahead and play it?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Here it is. We'll just watch it, and you can talk about it, Teppy.
Colts better than I thought they were.
I know, they're getting fast. Oh, shit.
Nice tussle from a 15-year-old linesman coming in from the top. Sean McGlynn's done a nice job in the last 2 games I watched him, and he's got another 2 games to do high school on Monday. So special shout out to Sean McGlynn. He's doing a nice job for a 15-year-old.
Right. So
actually doing a nice job, period.
Yeah, for sure. And just so you all understand that the guy that dropping that was picking up the puck right there at the end of that video clip, that's Sean McGlynn. He's 15 years old. We saw him doing some AAA games, and he's been doing fantastic. And Teppy said he's ready to do high school. So and he got there through effort. He got there through commitment and really taking it seriously. So that can be others on this phone call too, or on this Zoom call too. So thanks, Teppy. Appreciate that. Let's go back one slide then. Let me share this again. And this is kind of a little bit of a recap. Well, we already talked about this stuff, so let me unshare this. Sorry, moving ahead here. But I do want to reinforce what Teppy said about the playoffs and DA2. Some examples of playoffs that'll be coming around soon enough. And it seems like it's a long way away, but it really isn't. But the Blue Note Cup Youth Division playoffs always happen in February. We don't know quite when that will happen, but if they do happen, that's a great opportunity to get out there for some fantastic youth games. There's playoff hockey in high schools, hockey as well as national qualifiers, district qualifiers, and others. So we're definitely watching our officials for those opportunities, and we will be notifying you if you are being considered for a playoff opportunity. Some of our officials have had opportunities to go to USA Hockey Nationals and other district events, and those are fantastic. I can tell you from experience, those are wonderful events. And if you work hard enough, you never know, you might get selected for one of those events. So definitely keep that in mind. With that, we're going to open it up to some kind of Q&A discussion. I don't see any specific. Well, here's a question right away from Mike Mitchell. You guys can turn your cameras on now if you want to, everybody. Do we know when we might hear something from St. Louis County about new restrictions? Joe Kalin, do you know the answer to that, or hearing a lot of rumors?
No, I mean, when they decide, and you usually get about a day's notice when they decide something. So,
okay.
I mean, we could wake up tomorrow and bang, there it is. And it's no certain day. I've seen it, Mondays and Fridays. So there's no rhyme or reason to when they decide. It's, it's the government. So.
All right. And then the other question, has there anything from mid-states about B-team season, Epi?
Currently, they're not going to have a B-team season. They may do abbreviated ones starting late in February or March, but currently no plans for a B-team.
Okay.
But that could change.
Right, Teppy. Okay, thank you. Does anybody have a question that they'd like to ask verbally? Or it looks like, Alex, you've got your microphone on. What's up?
I have a question and bit of context. I was having a discussion with my dad last night about a play that was posted on
How's that, baby?
one of my mom's friends' Facebook pages in regards to a Bantam game. My dad sent it to you, Huddy. Do you think you could pull it up? Because I want to see what you guys think about this play, because there should have been a penalty, but it wasn't called. But there wasn't one called, so I wanted to see what you guys thought what the penalty should be.
Well,
My
I
dad had a bit of a heated discussion.
I haven't. It's on my phone, Alex, so I won't be able to pull it up right now. But I'll definitely look at it beforehand, or look at it and get back to you, and let you know what I think anyway. But I wasn't there, so I'm not going to make the call from my armchair. But I'll let you know what I think I might call if I had seen it. How's that sound? Okay. All right. Jay, do you have anything else to say after hearing our lovely meeting?
No, I just I think, like I said at the start, I mean, for the way things have advanced in our society, and obviously in officiating, to have an opportunity like a call like this, I think is fantastic. And I think for you guys and girls out there, you have to take advantage of stuff like this, because things are so much more competitive no matter what field you're in. For those of you that are going to school right now and thinking about where you're going to work afterwards in your chosen field of study, officiating, there's more competition, but there's also more opportunity in terms of education and assistance. So take advantage of it. That's my biggest advice that I could give in a call like tonight.
All right. Well, thanks again, Jay. Teppy just says, Jay, my sister, Chi Yard, told me to say, make sure I tell you hello. So
She texted me.
Did she?
Yes.
Yeah, she's great. She works for the NHL. So Teppy gets to go to the Winter Classic every year based on her ticket. So lucky guy. All right. Beth, anything?
Oh man, good meeting. Great effort tonight from the guys.
Yeah, fantastic. President Joe, any closing thoughts or?
Yeah, one thing, I had a couple questions on COVID. So if you're at the rink and the game's canceled for any reason, you're going to get paid. All right. So just an FYI, if you're at the rink and they come and say, well, one team didn't show up because they have COVID, you are going to get paid.
Okay.
So if anybody asks, that's our policy.
Good to know. Good to know. All right. Unless there's anything else, last call. Okay. Jerry, do you have something to say?
No, Hud, I just want to thank you for putting this on tonight. It's very informational. Thanks.
Yeah. And I really think we should do more of this. So look for something else in the next, I don't know, month or 6 weeks or something like that. We'll keep doing stuff like this because these video clips are helpful, and it's always good to see people, even though we can't be together in a meeting room or at the rink. So with that, okay, that closes tonight's meeting. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Jay, thanks again.
My pleasure.
To everybody else who presented, thanks a lot. And hey, have a great holiday season, everybody. Be safe, okay?
Cheers.